Good morning, beloveds. It is December 7th. It is Pearl Harbor Day. They were talking about it on the radio, and that's the reason I mentioned it. They were talking about, for my generation, because I'm in the same generation as the radio hosts, it's 9/11, and the date is in the remembrance. And then they mentioned that with Pearl Harbor, that's, that generation, the most catastrophic thing that happened. It's a day of remembrance, but the date is not in it. And so sometimes it sneaks up on people. So, And then they started talking about, when you go to see the museums, the remembrances, that you just really want to set your day aside for that. Don't have any other plans that day. So, are you coming back? Come on. Okay. So, like I said, it is December 7th. This year it is a Wednesday. Our title is A Way to Teach. The first quote is, "And I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all people unto me." And that is John 12:32. The second quote is, "We will not refuse to help the helpless or lift up the fallen, but we will refuse to wallow in the mud because of our sympathies." And that is The Science of Mind, page 55. Wow. That was pointed. The best teaching method we sometimes hear is to teach by example. Parents, for instance, who want their children to be truthful, responsible, and caring, cannot cheat or lie or blame others for what goes wrong, or act thoughtlessly, ruthlessly, or violently. Parents obviously set the example for their children. When we are conscious of our true nature as the children of God, we have a responsibility to demonstrate that realization. We can no longer cling to the old ideas of limitation, hopelessness, or other spiritual darkness, for, as Ernest Holmes pointed out, to find the Christ in us is to put off the old with its mistakes and doubts, to put on the new, always certain that we are beloved by God. There may be those who tell us how bad things are in the world, who do not yet know about the law of good, who do not yet understand that we have the ability to change conditions. While it is difficult to intellectually explain the true reality, we can exhibit an affirmative attitude, an expectancy of good, and a loving concern for everyone. We can put our spiritual principles into action and allow our lives to reflect God's love, truth, and unity. We can light the way for others while we offer a helping hand. The great spiritual teachers never withheld compassion. Their lives are examples for all of us. May we also serve to draw people up to an awareness and experience of the indwelling God. I know my life is divinely guided. Divine right action is constantly occurring within me as I open myself to the channel of love and light in the world. I am thankful for every opportunity to let God's life express through me. And that is J.A. Jean Anderson. So immediately two things occur to me. One of them being that, and I've heard Jesse say it more than once. Reverend Jesse say it more than once. He uses the phrase that we are beloved children of God in whom God is well pleased, but he also adds the addendum, well represented. And then there was another thing that he said, and it really stopped me short. It's like, you may be the only Bible some people read. And if that doesn't stop you short, then you're not paying attention. Really, honestly. Because there are a whole lot of people who will never pick up a religious text of any kind. And you are the only experience, you're not the only experience, but you are a direct experience that they are going to have of the God of your understanding. Notice that I said the God of your understanding, not the God of their understanding, but the God of your understanding. And are you a good representation of the God that you believe in? The God that you say you believe in? And it really does come down to and as children, we all grew up with that idea of do what I say, not what I do. And when we ran into people like that, it was hard. It's like, you're telling me to do this, but I'm watching you do this. And, it doesn't logically. I mean, children, it blows children's minds. And then you see it as an adult too. And you're like, but at least as an adult, you understand the idea of a hypocrite. It's like, you say this, but you do this, and they don't match. And so that's one of the things that in our lives, that we work on, we work on. Do our words match our actions? Do our actions match our beliefs, the beliefs that we profess? If we believe in an abundant world, do we live like that? Or do we live with there's a book called The Trance of Scarcity. Do we live like that? Are we constantly worried that there's not going to be enough? Or do we live as if there's always going to be enough? And I'm not talking about the grasshopper and the ant here. I'm not talking about living beyond our means, but living in such a way that we know, we are responsible with our resources. That's one of the reasons I like to come back to, when they talk about the Garden of Eden. When you look at the various translations, were we given stewardship over the world, or were we given dominion? And because dominion has a far different idea than stewardship. When we are given stewardship, it means that we are meant to manage our resources well. So do we live like that? And she alluded to it. It's like, it's not that bad things don't happen. It's not that there aren't, it's like, it was even in the quote. It's like, no, we're going to help we're going to help the people that stumble. It's like, we are going to live compassionately. We are going to go out and we are going to honor our word. We are going to honor our siblings in Christ. It's like, whatever your situation is, if I can give you a helping hand, especially without demeaning you, then I'm going to do that. That's my faith. That's my belief in God. It's like the prosperity, the abundance mentality means that if I have enough and you don't, and I can't, and I have enough to share, then absolutely I'm going to share. I'm not going to look at you and say, well, pray for abundance. It's like, I am the only Bible that, these people might read. I'm the only sacred text that they might read. But by meeting me, it might encourage them to, but if it doesn't, that's okay. That is absolutely okay. I will say that one of my biggest beefs with missionary work is, are you going there to honestly help the people? Are you going there to convert the people? Go there, build the hospital, go there, build the school. And if they are attracted to the faith that brought you there, then let them come to you. It's like, don't go there to convert them. If you convert to my religion, I'll build you a hospital. Nope, go build the hospital. And then when they see your faith, okay, so I'll get off that. But that's the God that I believe in. My God, the God that I believe in says, go build the hospital. If they come to you, great. And if they don't, that's okay too. They have rich faith traditions of their own. Me coming in and imposing my faith tradition because I want to build them a hospital doesn't help anybody. But me coming in and building them a hospital, it's just one of my examples, and then them enriching their faith tradition by adding something from me, that's a win. Or that they choose not to. I'm all for that. It's like, you have a rich faith tradition. Maybe I learned something from you. I'm an anthropologist though. I should tell you that up front. Like, I love to learn about people's faith traditions. So that's what she's talking about. Lead by example. Lead by example. if we're going to make a world that works for everyone, that is what we have to do. We have to make a world that works for us. And then light the path for other people to figure out how to make a world that works for them. And it doesn't mean that I'm not going to help. I'm absolutely going to help, but I can't create a world that works for you if I don't know what works for you. And, or more pointedly, I can't build a world that works for everyone if I don't know what works for me. That's why we do the work that we do. So that's what she's talking about, a way to teach. Lead by example. Let your actions match your words. Let your words match your faith. Like, that being the God that you believe in. And that's why I like the Science of Mind. We will not, that quote from Science of Mind, we will not refuse to help the helpless nor lift up the fallen, but we will refuse to wallow in the mud because of our sympathies. And that's one of the things that, in one of the classes that I took in ministerial school, they talked about the difference between empathy and sympathy. The difference between empathy is I recognize and acknowledge your feelings. And I will sit with you, but I'm also going to encourage you to do what you need to do to get out of that. Sympathies. What is it that it's the life ring. If you come upon a person that's drowning, do you jump in and drown with him, or do you throw him a life ring? That's what we're talking about here. Live your truth. Live your truth and light the path for the others. You can't walk the path for the others, but you can light their path. All right. So we refuse to wallow in the mud because of our sympathies. Ugh. Okay. She had one more really powerful. As Ernest Holmes pointed out, to find the Christ in us is to put off the old with its mistakes and doubt, and to put on the new, always certain that we are beloved by God. If we put off the old mistakes, we set them aside and we don't beat ourselves up about them. Guilt has no place in Science of Mind. And we put on the new, always certain that we are beloved by God, which is the point of spiritual practice. Every single spiritual practice that we have is about connecting with the source of your own being. It's about knowing who you are. There may be those who tell us how bad things are in the world, who do not yet know the law of good, who do not yet understand that we have the ability to change conditions. While it is difficult to intellectually explain the true reality, we can exhibit an alternative attitude. An affirmative. It is an alternative attitude, an affirmative attitude, an expectancy of good, and a loving concern for everyone. We can put our spiritual principles into action and allow our lives to reflect God's love, truth, and unity. We can light the way for others while we offer a helping hand. That's why we do things like the food market. We absolutely show up and help our neighbors. While we're helping our neighbors, we don't preach to our neighbors. We're just like, here, let us feed you. So, the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is that line. Well, it's several lines. Okay, let me condense. The mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to put our spiritual principles into action. To exhibit the affirmative attitude, the expectancy of good, and the loving concern for everybody. I know, it's a lot. We're putting our spiritual principles into action. We are living the life that we say we believe in. We are showing the world the God that we believe in through our actions, through our words, through our lives. We are reflecting to others This is who we are. This is what we believe. It is one of the reasons why there is a social justice component to Science of Mind. Because we believe in the oneness, we believe in good for everybody, and the good that we have, we want to share. And we put no conditions on that. So, all right, that is the mission today. It's kind of a heck of a mouthful, but I have faith. The other one is the same one that I give you every day, which is to do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. I give you many examples. It can look like taking a nap. It can look like taking a walk. It can look like taking a deep breath before you speak. It can also look like eating dessert first. Because while I say that doing the loving, kind, compassionate thing for yourself, there is a huge component of self-care to that. There's also a component of joy. It is about making sure that you are making time to enjoy your life. Take care of yourself. Absolutely take care of yourself. I say practice on yourself for a couple of reasons. One, you deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. Two, you are your own best test subject. Test out these things. Road test these things on yourself. Road test love. Road test compassion. Road test kindness. And there is a difference between being nice and kind. You can look it up. It's also about creating that habit. I like to call it a default setting, but I also want to remind you that it is a first response. The difference between a reaction and a response is a thought. When you practice love, kindness, and compassion on yourself, then you create that response no matter what happens. You don't react to things anymore. You give yourself that breath to think, what do I want my response to be? You are also connecting to the source of your own being. You are connecting to an infinite source of love, of kindness, of compassion, and you are creating a bank so that when you meet people that need a little extra, as he says, we are not going to wallow in the mud. We're going to give you a hand up. Well, the way to give others a hand up is to make sure that you have taken your own hand up. All right. Practice on yourself. Love, kindness, compassion. Sometimes what it looks like is sitting down and drinking a cup of tea and drinking a cup of coffee and engaging all 5 of your senses. Sometimes it looks like taking a day off. All right. Practice on yourself every day. It is a spiritual practice. I am a firm believer in that. Okay. So practice on and then as always, I do encourage you to do something that engages your mind and your body, whatever that looks like for you, unless it is your day of rest. I do encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is important. Your brain works better. And if you're going to, go out there and light other people's paths, hydrate. Everything works better when you're hydrated. I do encourage you to get early in your day, bright light. This is the science portion. It's the circadian rhythms. It really does that. Early in your day, bright light does help to reset hormones. You'll have more energy during the day. You'll sleep better at night. It's called a circadian rhythm. Science, you can look it up. So early in your day, whatever time you get up, if you get up before the sun, artificial light works. If you get up with the sun, or if you get up after the sun, just go get that early in your day bright light. All right? Just a little bit. Doesn't take much. I burn easy, so a little sunlight goes a long way. All right, so there's that. And then, as always, in the words of Ernest Holmes, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you do live in heaven right here, right now. It's all around us all the time because it's a state of mind. It's a state of consciousness. It means that we have an amazing superpower of being able to create heaven anywhere we are. Heaven isn't a place. It can be any place when you change your mind. State of mind, state of consciousness. Absolutely. And as always, we can take Emma's advice, look for the good and praise it. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to change our mind. Always. Okay. All right, so here's where I do the social media part. Remind you that we are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I am the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So you can always, that's where I archive these talks. Although, yeah, my commitment to work on my YouTube channel. Yeah, life is finally starting to slow down. I know we're going into the holiday season, but I'm through with Ren Fair. So I should be working on that reasonably in the near future. My first Saturday off is coming up this Saturday. I'm super excited. First Saturday I've had off in like 3 months. Okay. So here's the part where I get to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanting day, a living your truth day, a practicing what you preach day, a living up to your word day, a showing the God of your understanding day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day because you are enough just as you are. As I have said before and will continue to say every single day, you are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased and well represented. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. And to take one of Reverend Jesse's favorite words, you are a godling. Know who you are. Know who you are. All right. Okay. So Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I should be back with you around 9 a.m. Tomorrow. And take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.